The Lazy Peon. What's up guys, and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. Today I'm going to be showing you how I set up my keybinds. Just bear in mind these keybinds are set up to my personal preference and it might take a while for you to get used to. Before we start, I just want to say there's no right or wrong way to set up your keybinds. You just need to find something that you feel comfortable with. I've seen a lot of people with vastly different setups to me that are really great players, so if you don't like my way of doing things, there's plenty of other guides out there for you to look at. So before we start binding our abilities, we're going to change our movement keys. To do this, bring up your keybindings interface and click the movement keys tab. Then you're going to want to bind the move forward key to W, bind strafe left to A and strafe right to D. Also, if you're not a tank, you're going to want to unbind S as the move backwards key, as there's no need to walk backwards if you're not a tank. The reason we've changed A and D to strafe left and right instead of turning left and right is that keyboard turning is really slow, and you should turn your character using your mouse instead. Next, we're going to make a key binding for targeting. This will save us clicking on mobs when going into combat. So to do this, click the targeting tab in your key bindings menu and bind target nearest enemy to F. If you're in a PvP arena or battleground, you'll want to change this from target nearest enemy to target nearest enemy player so you don't target pets and minions. So now with that done, we're going to start binding our abilities. As you can see from my UI, I use an interface add-on called ElvUI that has a built-in key binding tool to make things easier. So let's start with my main abilities. I use the keybinds Q, S, E, C, V, X, R, T, G, B, Tab and N for the first row of abilities. Abilities Q to R are abilities I use quite often, and I've chosen keybinds close to my W, A and D movement keys so I can use these abilities quickly. Although this works for me, a lot of people choose to bind their main abilities from numbers 1 to 6. The next line of abilities are also important ones, but not ones I'll be using all the time, so I like to put cooldowns, interrupts and crowd control abilities here. I should also mention I have a gaming mouse with 2 extra buttons that I bind 2 of these abilities to. So from left to right we have gaming mouse button 1, gaming mouse button 2, middle mouse button 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Shift Q, Shift S, Shift E and Shift Z. Now we're going to look at my third row of abilities. The first few I don't really use that much, but the 2 on the end I use quite a lot. Again, from left to right we have Control Q, Control S, Control E, Control Z, Control X and Control V. Then I have a space of 3 unbound keys, with the final 2 abilities being bound to Shift C and Shift V. I use these 2 key bindings for important abilities as I find Shift C and V really comfortable to use. The last of my bound abilities off the side are for defensive cooldowns and mounts. For this I use Shift X, Shift 1, Shift 2 and Shift 3. So that's all my abilities. Another thing to remember is by default you can hold Alt to target yourself. So as a healer, if I'm targeting the tank, I can just press Alt Q and it'll put a rejuvenation up on myself. Another default keybind I use quite a lot is Shift B to bring up my bags and Escape to bring up the WoW menu. So before we end this video, I just want to say I know how hard keybinding could be to get used to at first. I used to click all my abilities when I played in Wrath of the Lich King, even at max level. And it took me a long time to learn keybinds, but once I did, I became a much better player because of it. When I got my girlfriend into WoW, I made sure to set up her keybinds before she even had the chance to play. That way she got used to it straight away, so I'd recommend you doing the same if you get your friends into WoW too. If you're interested in how keybinding can make you a better WoW player, check out my 10 ways to become a better WoW player video as I explain in depth the advantages of keybinding over clicking. Also, if you're interested in my UI and add-ons, check out my UI and add-ons video as I explain what add-ons and UI I use and show you how to set it all up. So that's it for this video guys, I hope you found it useful. Feel free to give more advice regarding keybinds in the comments below to help out other players who are trying to get used to it. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.